My major influencers have been my two parents, my mom and my dad, my two younger sisters who inspire me tremendously every day. Also the former CEO of Mariner Investment Group, Bryce Young, who was my boss and really a huge inspiration for me to work harder every day and to lead better and manage better and be more productive and effective at my job. My parents, they've always been there, and my sisters as well. And I think what's been very important about that is that we're very tight, right? So they're all in Miami, I'm in New York City, so we don't see each other every day, but we're very, very close. And it's almost a safety net where you feel no matter how badly I mess up, there's always someone that will listen, that will support me, or will tell me that I messed up, but they'll still love you just the same. And I think it's very important to have that kind of a support network because you're not as afraid of failures in a sense, right? You're always afraid of failures, but I think knowing that there's always someone there who's a constant, and it's not just one person, it's a group of people, has for me been instrumental. Even when I had, some personal challenges in my marriage, right? That was very, very important. I said, well, I think that the love and the support that I've experienced in my family has really helped me to have great relationships with other people. It's just been a very, very good example. And the former CEO of Mariner, Bryce Young, was just a phenomenal boss. And even when I knew I had messed up, he would tell me, you messed up. Let's do better next time. It wasn't you messed up, you're fired, or you cannot make mistakes, right? It was this is a learning experience for all of us, and we're growing a business, and we're improving a business, and we're trying to improve the people that work for us, right? So they can go on to bigger and better things. So he was just a phenomenal boss, and I tried to be as good as he was. It's hard though, because again, you get caught up in, am I doing this right? We don't have any time for mistakes, right? And so I think it's important to give people a chance to learn from their mistakes. But more importantly, so those are very important influencers, right? Those are constants, or people who have been in my life for a very, very long time and inspired me in many, many different ways. But also, there's also little interactions that you have with people, and there's one particular one that I go back to all the time. I used to be a tour guide at the University of Rochester. They called it the Meridian Society. So you were almost the first impression for visitors coming to the University of Rochester, and I loved it. It was so fun. I learned so much about the history of the university that I wouldn't have known otherwise, just kind of studying and spending my extracurricular time at the university. But it was a lot of fun. And I got a question during one of the tours that I had no idea what the answer was. And it was about Frederick Douglass. And there's the Frederick Douglass Institute at the University of Rochester. And I grew up in Puerto Rico, came to the United States after finishing high school in Mexico City. So I didn't know as much US history, definitely not upstate New York history as I now do. But that was, and I think I was a sophomore or a junior in college, that was a pivotal moment for me because it got me very, very interested in Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, civil rights movement, women's suffrage. And a lot of that comes up in conversation in my job today, which is incredible to think about, right? But that was this 30-second interaction that I had with the parent of a potential student that was on a tour. And it really made me think, if I don't know the answer to this question about the Frederick Douglass Institute, there's a lot that I don't know about the history of not just this place, but this country. And in a lot of, civil rights movement, women's suffrage, those are two things that are very related to how I feel about my job, right? And why I think it's so necessary. And we are nonpartisan. You know, we don't really talk about the civil rights movement much. We really focus on the business case for diversity and inclusion, and diversity as a source of alpha and better decision making from diverse people. And not as much the civil rights movement, but that's one of the things that energizes me, that I think, you know, this is part of our history. Let's not let it be part of the history again, right? Let's not go back there.